What is good, everybody? Welcome into the Bluebloods. Man, we're starting up player interviews as we get into the 2024 college football season, and we are joined by a two-time now FCS All-American, Buck Buchanan Award finalist, multiple-time All-MEAC selection, and should be one of the top candidates for the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year next season. We got my guy, Erick E40 Hunter with us today, man. Erick, how we feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Oh
Feeling good.
man, absolutely, man. This was one I've really looking forward to. I didn't get to make it to MEAC Media Day, get to talk to your teammates and head coach. So I picked you guys to win the MEAC, so I got to give this team a little bit of spotlight, man. Show them the captain of the defense, stuff like that. But man, I want to start here. Coach Damon Wilson enters the program in your second season as a sophomore. What was your first impressions of Coach Wilson? You know, highly successful at Bowie State, trying to bring a winning culture back to Morgan. Just what was your first impressions when he entered the building?
I mean, he came in with a different aura about himself. He came in with a winning aura. But they came in so late. I mean, I think by the time he walked in the door, he was still just dealing with so many other off the field stuff and politics, paperwork, getting coaches right. And we didn't really get rolling until I'm almost about mid-July. So it was more so I think at the time Alfonso Graham, he was really just the guy who just ran the team. We were just like, man, forget anything was going on. It's too late to try to, fill him out. It was no fill him out at the time. It was just we bought in right now. We know what you can do. We've seen what you can do. You was down the street. So just whatever you did over there, bring it over here, please. And let's do it. That was really it.
What were the biggest differences behind the scene, in your opinion, in terms of how he ran the program compared to the last staff?
I'd say it's just more family. More family. So Coach Wheatley, coming from he went to Michigan and he wasn't a bad coach at all. He just ran the school like a business. I'm sure he picked up what he learned at Michigan, and that was totally fine. But it was just the difference was Coach Wilson is more family oriented and Wheatley was probably just more like, hey, this is college football, this is business. You know what I'm saying? So it still is business with Coach Wilson. You're not doing what you're supposed to do off the field, on the field. You know what's going to happen. You out of here. But it's just more family oriented and understanding there's no love laws no matter how it goes.
Now, obviously, listen, I got to talk to your defensive coordinator, Coach Sewell, at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. He had great things to say about you, Elijah, a lot of the guys on the defense. And he's really excited. He thinks you guys can be the number one defense in college football this year. What makes him so special? And do you guys see head coach qualities in him? Because I'll be honest, I've talked to my guy Banks, Josh. We all think that it's only a matter of time before you see Coach Sewell leading a program somewhere in college football.
Yeah, I think Coach Sewell is definitely going to lead somewhere. And to be honest with you, the things that he says and the mentality that he has is actually it's really good. A lot of people won't agree because Coach Sewell is looked at like an a-hole. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's looked at like an a-hole. And I see kind of past it because the things that he preaches, just being petty about specific things. Those are things that make championship teams, championship qualities. And, his focus is always primarily on the defense, and it shows up on Saturdays. He got it for real. I really like what Coach Sewell is doing and the whole defensive staff, to be honest with you. Just, I'm in the office a lot with those guys. And it's almost like it's like a debate every single day. It's you walking into a fire room with a lot of men in testosterone really trying to get stuff down. We on the board. Is people, coaches standing up. It's chairs rolling around. It's papers flying in the air. And it's by the end of the day, it's they all clapping yeah, this is what we're going to do in practice. How we going to incorporate it. It's that being in that room with the entire defensive staff makes me love football so much more because it's that's what it's supposed to feel like. And exactly what y'all see on Saturdays, I'm telling you, truth be told, is what it looks like on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night in the hotel. I'm not kidding. That's exactly what it looks like. And he does a great job. He does a great job. So
it definitely translates on the field during the games. And, I really think, everyone points to last year as your breakout year, obviously with all the American honors, the first team all conference, Buck Buchanan Award finalist, but you really had a great sophomore year as well. Kind of got a little bit snubbed with the all conference and the attention. What clicked? Like when you look from 2021 to 2022, even to last season, what were some of the biggest improvements that you saw in your game?
It's funny you say that. So quick story. I woke up with my family on Thanksgiving, like the day before Thanksgiving, I think in 2022, and I was very upset after my sophomore season that I didn't get anything. I think the most I made was like an honorable mention somewhere, but it kind of hurt because at that time I was really big, just seeing what was going on the social media, seeing what people were saying. I was really hurt by it, and my dad kept help me just stay above. But I say the thing that just clicked the most was just like anger. I just had 365 days of anger, and I was just like people are crazy, like crazy. Like I wanted. Selfishly, I just wanted to say, like, y'all are crazy for not seeing the great football player I am that I knew that I was, and I just wanted the world to see that, and I wanted to do the best thing that I can do to help us win, and I wasn't going to stop. I was going to play very tenacious, and it just wasn't going to stop. So like when everything came out last year, it was kind of just like bittersweet because I was very happy. I was very, very happy, very grateful, and very thankful. I just really am, but it's like I got to find that way to just keep that same anger. So now I look at things and I just be like, I just pretend like I'm not even reading my name anymore. Like I just want to keep that same anger and mentality in myself. Like I want to like double, triple everything I have because I'm still not done. I still feel like I'm not done. Like, we had one game canceled this year versus Stony Brook because of the stuff that happened on campus. And then, we the way we play our linebacker system, we rotate a lot. So it's just like, this year, it's going to be a lot more. We got 12 games and rotation. I don't know how that's going to go, but it's going to be a little different. That's all I'm going to say.
And that Stony Brook game, no offense to those guys, that's probably a stat padding game for yourself. Stony Brook was not great offensively last year. I don't think they won a game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But, you mentioned just, the rotation and what you could have put up. What's the energy like in the linebacker core? Because obviously, if you're balling, you don't want to come off the field, but
Right.
the guy behind you, like you look at like a Lawrence Richardson last year. I mean, when you came off the field and if he stepped in, you knew there was probably not going to be much drop off. What's the brotherhood like in the linebacking room?
You know what? And this might really surprise you, Zach. The linebacker room is probably the most unselfish group of guys that I've ever been around in my entire career. And to be honest with you, it's almost like, even though I can understand what it feels like to, to be behind like a guy like myself or Lawrence at the time, because I was behind guys like, Devan Hebron a few years back and stuff like that. But it's just like everybody is so supportive. There's no bad blood between anybody. Everybody plays their role because everybody in the linebacker room has a role, like a really good role, and everybody plays more so the specific. Like we have packages for everybody to get in 3-4 packages and stuff like that. But it's like there's no like you could just say hate at all. So I know anytime that if I were to go down or anytime that I wasn't to be able to play, or I'm frustrated because I feel like I should be playing and I'm not in the rotation, it doesn't matter to me because when it was my turn, they never blinked an eye. They always came to me on the sideline like, "Hey, your eyes was bad on this play. You need to get that right." And I don't care who it comes from. I'm listening. I listen to everybody because it doesn't matter. Some people will be like, "Oh, what are you saying to me?" Like, I don't care who it comes from. Like, if your eyes is bad, your eyes is bad. You got to hear. You got to be able to listen to people. I'm very coachable, so I'm just hearing people out, and when it's their turn to go and play, their turn to go and rotate, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna support. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna cheer. I'm gonna do everything I can because they did it for me. So I appreciate those guys a lot, most definitely. I do. I really do.
Man, I love to hear that. Just because I played offensive line, and that's usually the group that you hear that about, just because of the chemistry that has to be developed. So to hear that from a linebacker room is super super unique. I think that's why y'all's defense is so good. I want to shift to this. We talked a little bit about it before the show, but last season it was just a lot of what if moments for you guys, where it was one score, one play away from winning some key games. When you look at Central and Howard and Albany and Akron, when you guys go, I say this when I study teams going from season to season, those teams that have a lot of close wins or losses either go the extreme other way, where that team might not win those close games the next year and they don't live up to the expectations. And you got the teams that lost a lot of close games that learn how to win. What's the message from the coaching staff on what you guys have to do down the stretch to turn some of those close one-score losses into wins next season?
Well, once again, just being transparent. There's no coaching. There's no coaching for that Albany one. There's no coaching for that. That's player. That's player. Like, you gotta have will for that. You know, when you're on the 1-inch yard line, you got to get there. But at the same time, there still is coaching, because I think with the coaches' messages is more so within themselves. And that's another thing that I like about, like the Wilson staff, is like there's accountability measures. And, they'll say, you can ask any coach on the staff, they'll say, it's some things that players need to correct and fix, but there's things that they had to do as well, like with the Akron loss, that was coaching, the Albany coaching, but it's not necessarily a finger point. It's just like an accountability measure. Like, hey, this is on us. We got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's absolutely unacceptable. Because Albany, you get 3 chances to get in the inch yard line, or 2 chances to get in the end zone. That's players. But then when we get that third time, we break the huddle with 12 on the field. That's, like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just things like that. So we're gonna tighten up all of those little things, because accountability is horizontal in this program. So player can get on the coach, and a coach can get on the player, and the player can respectfully tell a coach, like, hey, we gotta tighten this up. You know what I'm saying? So
right. Man, I love to hear that. But I want to kind of get into you as a prospect, man. You are one of the top HBCU prospects in this upcoming class. When you look at your game, I mean, who is your comparison? Because I'll be honest, there's not a lot of 6'4", 210, 220 linebackers in college football anymore. So when you look across, the landscape of football, even to the NFL, who is your inspiration? Who do you model your game after?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna sound cliche when I say this, because he's just so like big and obvious. But I say Fred. I really like Fred. It was one play where I seen Fred like lined up in like I can't remember last year. It was a play, I think, against the Cowboys. He literally was lined up and he was mugged up in the A gap, and then he still like took 3 vertical all the way down like the seam on the bender. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's things that I do. Like, I do things like that in practice, And I also say a little bit of the guy from NC State last year. He was a track guy, so that's kind of how I was coming into college. I was a real big track guy, so I was just really just like, I like his game too, and I blend the two a little bit.
Shout out to Peyton Wilson, NFL draft pick this past. I think it was 2nd round, if I'm not mistaken, last year. Might have slated to the late 1st round, because I know he had some but he had some injury history though.
Yeah, I can't really remember. I remember watching him at the combine. I've had a chance to fly out with my pops and Elijah. We went up there just to watch. And I watched him. I was watching him the whole time. He was very, very fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at just your game, is there a certain scheme that you're most comfortable in? I know, Morgan, you guys have the versatility to run a lot of different schemes, formations, stuff like that. Is there a scheme that you feel most comfortable in, or a linebacker position that you feel most comfortable in transitioning to the next level?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we run the 4-2-5 primarily. So, yeah, I think I'm just the most comfortable right behind my D-line, right behind the 4. And just playing stand up, whether it's Mike or Will, I'm cool with both. Being honest with you, I feel comfortable the most in the 4-2-5. The outside linebacker, I have no issue with, because I played all of that my freshman year and a lot last year with the 3-4 package that we had, and I'm absolutely fine with outside. I feel like outside is just, I don't know. I feel comfortable with it. I feel like it's just a little more boring. I feel like it's more action in the 4-2-5, and I like action. I like getting in the mix. So.
Man, I'll be honest, as an offensive lineman, just you don't get a lot of guys coming off the edge at your size with the speed. Bro, a speed rush would just be nightmarish for an offensive lineman like me. At tackle, if you got off the ball quicker than me, that's one of those plays you just turn around to the quarterback and it's like, bro, cover the ball.
Yeah.
Like, he's coming. You better just cover up. But I want to shift to more about you. And I was reading about you doing some research for the interview, man. I came across an article where you were really talking about your love of music. Yeah. And all the instruments you played, and you produced beats. And I just want to kind of talk about that a little bit. Just talk about how inspirational your dad was in terms of getting you into music and teaching you all these instruments and how to produce beats, things like that. Like, where did you discover your love of music first?
Yeah, so that's really funny you say that. So I say, and this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, my love for music is probably just as even as football. Those are the only 2 things that I really truly hold on a high pedestal. And my dad coming up, growing up, my dad, he was just a rapper. He just rapped. He had a little home studio, and you know, I always used to see him in there doing things. So I was like, Dad, can I make a song one day? And that's really just how it started. But I took it to the next level when I got to 5th grade, started playing the violin. And I got to 6th grade, started playing the stand-up bass, the big stand-up bass. And that's my main primary instrument. And then 7th grade, my dad introduced me to one of his friends who made beats. And then, you know, he just taught me the ropes a little bit, but I wanted to be better than him. I'm always wanting to be better. So I just took it to a whole new level. And I started making beats really in 8th grade. And like I say by 11th grade, I really got talented. And even now, like I still make beats like every day to this day when I'm just sitting down. You don't need Wi-Fi for it. I have beats that I made for every single game this year. Like I've labeled every single beat, like Norfolk State, South Carolina State. I have beats for every game that I made, just how I was feeling in the hotel that night or on the plane. Because you don't need Wi-Fi for it. It's just I love doing it. And yeah, I do play a few instruments. I like film composing. If I wasn't a football player, I would want to be a film composer. And that's really weird. A lot of people look at me like, what is that? But it's just like I love orchestrating music. I was in orchestra, I was in marching band in high school, I was in a symphonic band in high school. And I did all three with all my heart and might for all the years that I was there. You know, so yeah, I say all the years I was there because COVID sucked. But I feel like I'm like, dang, I only went to high school for 2.5 years, man. I'm like, but yeah, so yeah, I love music tremendously. Like it's one of my biggest passions, and I never would stop that. So
Who's your biggest musical inspiration in terms of artists right now?
right now it's just Bryson Tiller, because that's what I love. I love hearing Bryson Tiller. But anything orchestra music, like I'll listen to anything orchestra. But I like listening to orchestra music. It's very relaxing, calm, or energetic. People don't. I get hype off of orchestra music. People look at me weird. I swear. But
is that on the pregame? Is that on the pregame hype list?
No, it's not on the pregame. It's not on the pregame. Not yet. I was my freshman year, but sophomore and junior, no, I took it off. It took it off that time. Yeah.
I like, you mentioned your track background, and if I'm not mistaken, too, you were a really good basketball player as well. In terms of sports, I mean, obviously football was probably your best. What was your second best sport in your opinion?
I would probably have to go basketball, because in my high school, more people thought that basketball was going to be the way I went, to be honest with you. Track wasn't a thing, didn't become a thing until my senior year. That was my first year ever running track, and it changed my life and entire journey tremendously, and I was grateful for it. But I would definitely say basketball, because you know we were doing big things in basketball. But track, you know, when they canceled football and basketball my senior year in high school, I was very hurt, because you know those are my main two sports. Didn't have marching band either. So I was just like, okay, well, what can we do? What is there of it? Like they say, oh, boom, you know, they're going to at least open up the county for spring sports. So it was either baseball or like, you need a lot of skill for that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Or track. So I was like, okay, why not? You know, I was been supposed to run track. You know, I was going to do it my freshman year, sophomore year. I was like, nah, forget it. But I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And plus I was hurt that I did not win the state championship in high school yet. I was really hurt by that. So couple of guys from the football team, we was all like, hey, let's just go run track. Let's do something. Let's get right, you know, for college. Me and my guy, Chris Kane, who ended up going to ODU, just transferred to Stony Brook. We were just like, yeah, let's go run track. And our mentality running track, you know, it was their second, third year running, but it was like my first year. Our mentality, we said, we will not lose. So we ended up winning the state championship. Chris won his, and I think like the 200, and they won one in the 4x1, and we ended up winning it in the 4x4. So I was glad I walked out with a state championship my first year running track. I ran like a 50 flat in the relay, which was okay.
Just okay. I mean, as an O-lineman, man, I wish I was moving that fast ever. You know, are you the best hooper on the team, you feel like, at Morgan?
Oh, everybody, this is a good question. This is a good question. We had this debate all summer. Okay, look. Let's go for it. I know my teammates gonna probably watch this one day, maybe. I would say 100% I'm top 3. I'm gonna have to shout out Crawley. I'm gonna go top 5. I think I'm top 3, but I'm gonna just give guys a top 5. I'm gonna shout out Andre Crawley. I'm gonna shout out Big Chris, which is crazy to me. I don't know how he's so good at basketball. I'm gonna shout out Crutch. I know I'm missing somebody. I'm gonna give a little bit to Carl and Josh too. So I'll just give it those four myself. We definitely top 5. But Carl and Josh know I beat them in King of the Court, so they know who's better.
I like it, man. I think I've seen a bunch of debates where like different football players. I think it was the Jackson group. Like there were like 5 or 6 Jackson players who play a lot. They were like, bro, we think we can beat our men's team in 5v5.
I don't think we can beat the men's team, but I definitely think we'll give them a bump. Like it won't be like, oh my, like it'll like we will come closer to with them in their sport than they would us in our sport.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that it's a bad. That's been a big debate. I know the Kelsey Brothers podcast. They've had that debate on like, is it easier to go from basketball to football or vice versa? And I just don't think the physicality is different, man.
Yeah, football to basketball definitely. We would give our men's team, if a game to 100, it'd be 80 to 100 to me, because our hustle wouldn't be matched. Our hustle.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Real quick for the team, and then we'll get into the last few questions. Who's the biggest trash talker on Morgan State?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Jordan Judy and maybe Anthony James. I'm gonna go with those two. Anthony James makes you want to rip his helmet off in practice sometimes. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Anthony James. Anthony James. I love scuffles in practice, like healthy scuffles though.
Yeah, for sure.
Healthy ones. I love them. Yeah, I'll probably go with Anthony James offense, and then maybe Jordan Judy on the defense.
What was your welcome to college moment? Whether it was in practice or in a game.
It's funny you said that. I never forget. Game 3 versus Sacred Heart. I forget his name. He's number 4. I forget his name.
Oh, that's my guy Malik.
Yes, Grant. Malik Grant. Yep. See, I know it off the top of my head. I would never forget. I was coming off the edge, free blitzer. Thought I had him. I was like, my eyes got wide open. I thought I was going to crush him in the backfield. He just hit me with a 1-2, and I fell down, went backwards, reached my hand back. I was like, oh, I have the video on my phone. I wish I could show you, but it was like, yeah, he got me really bad. So
man,
welcome to college moment.
Shout out to my guy Malik, man. We had him on the show a while back. I think he just transferred to Rhode Island, man. So he's finished up his career.
Shout out over. Good back, really good back.
Oh yeah, he's gonna ball out over there, man. He'll be the guaranteed starter over there. Looking at
Malik. I got you back. The next he knows. I got him back. He knows.
When you look at just overall your career, just your career at Morgan, who are 1 or 2 of the best offensive players you ever had to face?
Alfonso. Oh, I thought you say on the team. I'm sorry, Alfonso.
Oh no, you can name one on the team, one on another team.
Okay, yeah, Alfonso Grant for sure. Like that kid was different. No kidding. Like I used to say this to the guys. Like I think Alfonso was the best back I faced in practice, even like in the games. Like Alfonso. But against in real life, I was really excited to play the kid from South Carolina State last year, but when we had got to him, I don't think he played. I think he had just gotten hurt. I would probably just have to go with Diego from Towson last year. He was hard because he was so small. It's like a little bug just running around. This is like it was really hard to see him get to him. He was really agile, and I had a lot of trouble with him last year. So I'll admit, like I'll probably just have to go with him. The bigger backs, I don't really have much trouble with. We didn't have much trouble with. So I think Diego was probably the one that gave us the run for our money the most. So I say he was tough.
I'm not surprised about that. I think he was an All-American punt or kick returner too. Yeah. I can only imagine what it was like trying to get him in the open field on special teams. And the last 2 questions, just when you look at your career, man, you've done the All-American, you've been all conference, you've led the team in tackles, you've done everything. What's your goals for the 2024 season?
Just be better than last year and win. That's really it. Like, be better than last year and win. And I don't go out and search for plays. I don't look for them. I feel like they come naturally. Can I tell you another quick story?
Yeah.
So boom, Norfolk State last year, we're down, I think about 21-28 in the 4th, And, Keith Jenkins comes out and makes the big kick return. Boom. We're bringing it back a little bit. It's 25,000 in their stadium on homecoming. And I remember me and Lawrence were playing not good we were not playing well that game. And Lawrence was really upset. I had to come lift him up. And we ended up finding and clicking. And Coach sat us down for like about 2-3 drives. And shout out to Xavier and Arturo, the other two linebackers. This is what I was saying when I say it's always a beneficial role that everybody plays. They go in, they play 3 drives, and they getting 3 and outs. But when me and Lawrence came in the game, it was a touchdown. So, we had to let them rock out this game. I'm like, you know what? Me and Lawrence couldn't find it. But at the same time, I'm on the sideline watch. I'm like, okay, what are they doing? How are they adjusting? And, I'm not going to tell everybody the philosophy on the interview, but I would definitely say there was a change in style that I had to play. And I was watching what they was doing. I'm like, okay, that's how we got to come. I'm like, Lawrence, this is what we got to do when we go back in. So we go back in, and I'm like, all right, we're going to do it. So the adjustment we made was we just got to plug the gaps. They were just running straight dive, straight down our face and just going down the field with a big running back. So we start plugging the gap. So another play comes, they're about to hand the ball off. They fake the handoff. And instead of trying to like just surf a little bit, I go down. I just go down to hit it. I'm plugging gaps. I'm going down. I'm not wasting any time. And as I'm going down to hit it, I noticed my entire D line in front of me. I'm like, what is going on? But it registered quick. I'm just it's just happening fast. I'm like, oh yeah, this is screen right now. So I immediately like, where's the running back at? I find him, and I didn't think Otto, the quarterback from Norfolk, was going to throw. I didn't think he seen me either. I think so. Otto ends up throwing it anyway, and then boom, I just catch it, and then it was an interception. And that's just like the little adjustments that I make, throughout the game to just that helps you make plays. So I won't make plays. I won't go out and search for them. They'll just come. And ultimately, the biggest goal is just to be better than last year and win. That's it.
Building off that last answer, it's been, I think, since 2014, since Morgan's last winning season, and the last time that they won at least a share of the MEAC title, no Celebration Bowl appearances. What would it mean to you to be one of the leaders on the Morgan team that breaks through and gets it done, wins that championship, breaks the streak, and gets to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl?
It would mean a lot. It would mean a lot. I really can't describe something that I haven't felt. I just say, I had the opportunity to go to the Celebration Bowl just to watch. I bought tickets and went. When Jackson State played South Carolina State, and when Jackson State played North Carolina Central, that was a great game. The Central versus Jackson, that was great,
amazing game.
That was a great game. But I had the opportunity to go. I see the electricity in the building. I see, how it feels to just be there. I want to be on the field. I'm tired of being in the bleachers. I didn't even want to go last year. I couldn't do it. My heart was too broken, but I want to go there so bad. That's the ultimate goal. I can't even describe it in words. We just got to go. We got to get there. That's what I want. That's what I want bad. So.
Well, man, you guys got all the expectations this year. I know it's a little bit of a change of pace from previous years, man, but I'm excited to see that defense. I've told you before the show, and I've talked about it on my show, man. I'm riding with Morgan this year to win the MEAC. So hoping to see you guys in Atlanta, man. I'll get to come dap you up on the field, man, at the Celebration Bowl, hopefully next year. But, man, Erick, the last thing, just let people know where they can find you, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, and I want to make sure, man, everyone knows where to follow your journey next season.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So my Instagram handle is flyboyej with 2 Y's and 2, like on the fly and the boy, and then .ej. And then my Twitter handle is right there, as you see, is just Erick Hunter 04. And you can catch me there or at a Morgan State football game. That's where I'll be at in this entire fall season. Once tomorrow comes, I'll be completely focused and tuned in. And I appreciate you guys who do watch this, and I appreciate you, Mr. Zach, for having me, most definitely. And let's do it. Morgan State is long overdue. So at least while I'm here, I'm gonna give it everything I got.
Man, Erick, I appreciate you as always, man. Good luck next season, man. Shout out to you for another All-American honor, man. And we'll be watching. You already know that, man. And I'll be in touch during the season for sure. But guys, make sure to go follow Erick on all social media, man. One of the best players in the FCS for sure. But for Erick, myself, the Blue Bloods, FCS Football Central, man, we are out for right now.